Hey guys, how are you? We're here. I promise it is 9 p.m. somewhere. Actually, apparently Andrew says it's 9 p.m. for him, so I'm not late. I'm 100% on time, uh, according to him. Laurie, thank you very much. It is very kind of you to see a super chat come in before I even go live. It's very sweet of you. Thank you. And I saw one just here too. Miss Kathy Lynch, how are you, my friend? Take the missus out to eat. I will, thank you. It's very sweet of you. I will tell her. She's currently just over there, sort of listening, but not listening too much. I'll tell her though. I'll tell her it's from you. Hey Moonlight View, how are you? AKA Ping's place. Okay. Kathy did send in this email, and it's interesting because I saw something similar a while ago, but it wasn't the same one. It was different. It was related to the mushrooms, the poisonous mushrooms. I saw one, but it was called something else, and it didn't look like this. There's all different mushrooms in the world, and they can take all different shapes, right? Kathy sent this one, and it looks like dead hands. Look at this. Imagine if you were in a forest and you're looking for a missing person. You might actually find this, and you'd be like, "Oh my god, we found them." No, it's a mushroom. So there you go. That's what Kathy sent me earlier. It's I don't know what they call it. They call it dead man's hand or something? Dead man's fingers. Okay. You actually did something without Nightbot? Okay. He's very friendly, but just doesn't reply. Very good listener. Just doesn't give you any reply. All right. Yeah, fungus is creepy. Yeah, there was another one. It looks like a web. It looks like almost like a spider's web, but it's different. There's all different ones. There's ones that smell like rotting bodies, and did you guys know that there's a fungus that smells like rotting bodies? Hold on. No, that's not what I want. It was trying to give me a completely different. I don't know. Anyway, I'll find out another time. We don't need to talk about that. Yeah, I think if you were, like I said, if you were looking for a missing person and you accidentally came across this, you might have a moment thinking you might have found success or a zombie, one or the other. There's one that looks like yellow vomit. Yeah. Why is fungus so creepy? All right, let's get into it. There's been a couple little updates about Jocelyn, and I want to talk about them because why not? Why not? Seems like at least part of this. Hey guys, I am here. Look, the camera's messing up again. It fell last night and then I put it back and now it's not in the same spot. It has been for like 5 months. So everything looks a little further away or weird or too far that way. Next week we're going to have 2 days of 2 shows of downtime. There'll be a day where I won't be on because I'm going to strip all this area. I'm going to move the camera onto a proper tripod with a clamp, and then it's going to be much higher, or not higher, but more over there with a different angle. We're putting up the Reeby's poster, and there's a few other changes that this is going back a little further. This screen that you guys can see here, the edge of it here, this is going to get pushed back much further, and it's going to go on a clamp. So you guys will see that next week. So we're having some office rearranging next week. So I'll tell you the day when that's going to happen. I'm not 100% sure yet because I'm waiting on a part, but I will let you know. So it says here, Fears Texas Girl 12 may have been this word right here that I can't say because of YouTube. Before she was murdered during 2-hour ordeal under bridge as illegal immigrant suspect mugshots are released. So yeah, they're saying now that she was held sort of captive underneath this bridge for a couple of hours before her death. And they said police have revealed the pair who were in the US illegally from Venezuela allegedly lured Jocelyn under the bridge where they held her for more than 2 hours, possibly, that word we can't say, They did that to her after they tied her up and took her pants off. Now they're saying they're still waiting on a, uh, a sexual assault kit to be done. They're still waiting for those results. I don't know if they have come back. My morning has been about the last 40 minutes trying to catch up on everything. They said when the duo were done with their depraved deeds, they allegedly killed the child by strangulating her before throwing her body into the Greenpoint Creek. Prosecutors say the case would not qualify for the death penalty unless evidence is found that shows the girl was essayed. So it says investigators are still waiting for the results to confirm whether she was, I can't imagine what the last few moments of her life were like to have that happen after just going for a walk. She went for a walk outside her home, talking to her boyfriend, and she meets up with these guys. She thinks they're kind of cool. They have dinner or something together. How does that work? I'm not sure. And then they do this, and she spends the final 2 hours of her life doing something she probably thought she probably wouldn't be doing for a couple more years and in a much more friendly situation. Very, very disturbing. Yes, they were caught, yesterday? Was it yesterday for you guys? Yeah, yesterday. They were caught yesterday, the 2 guys. Actually, I have an update here for you. You got if you missed it, I can, show it to you. So here we go. 2 men charged, face death penalty after alleged strangulation of young girl. This is, Click to Houston, so we can, show you that. Actually, maybe this one's better. This one has their mugshots. Okay, yeah, we got booking photos on this one here.
New at noon, booking photos released just moments ago of the 2 men charged with capital murder in the death of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary. We have been following
Hey, are you guys there? Can you guys hear me? We had a power outage. Power went out for, like, split second, and we lost everything. It was playing through the video, and then I had everything went zoom and lost the computer, lost everything. I had to reboot everything and get back up. So I hope you guys can hear me now. I'm gonna reboot. I'm gonna get all this started again. It's one of those days, it really is. I'm lucky my computer is fast. It just was able to get back up and running in about a minute. No words? Hold on. We're in this one. Hold on. There we go. Guys, can you hear now? If you can hear me, say it in the chat. Let me see. Dot, dot, dot. Yeah, it's going. Okay, cool. All right, all right. Thank you. Far out. Couldn't ask for a more weirder stream. Let's get this back up and running.
the girl's body was found in a North Houston Creek on Monday. Devon Raming live in downtown Houston with the latest on this really upsetting case. Devon, any update on when the suspects will be facing a judge?
Sherman, not at this hour. In fact, we've been checking the court docket all day long, waiting to see if these suspects' names would pop up because they are expected to appear in court at some point today. And, the community is also waiting for more answers in this case as well. So we will continue to follow the docket to see and bring you the latest if they do indeed appear. Now, these images were captured yesterday during the arrest of 21-year-old Johan Jose Martinez and 26-year-old Franklin Jose Pena Ramos. Houston police say the suspects were seen leaving a restaurant on the north side moments before meeting up with the 12-year-old on Sunday at a convenience store near Kirkendall Road before heading to the bridge where she was killed. And, this tragedy is still sending shockwaves through the community.
They just moved in. They haven't even been here a month. It's very emotional because when you're thinking, I live on the third floor, these people are on the second floor, and it's just like, I don't even, there's no emotions here.
Within the last hour, we've also learned both suspects were in the country illegally from Venezuela at the time of their arrest Thursday. That's according to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
So I'm going to leave it there, but there's the booking photos for two of them. They definitely look older without all the, I don't know, without all the clothes they were wearing in the CCTV. They definitely look like much more older men than what they came across in that video footage. In some of the video footage, at least one of them, the shorter one, I think looked younger, like a little younger than this one, and end up being the reverse. I think he's older than he is. But glad they are behind bars. Just Summer says there's been a couple of illegal immigrant murders lately. More than a few. There was the woman, the jogger, the one they just caught. That guy was an illegal immigrant. He fled a few different places. He fled from his home country to America to escape a murder. Then he escaped from LA after he assaulted a young girl and her mom, and then fled to another part of the country where he killed that woman. Then he fled from there to like Oklahoma, and they were able to track him down and grab him. Right, that's what I thought. When I saw the original CCTV, I thought at least one of them was like early 30s or late 20s, something like that, but they're actually not that super old, if I remember. Yeah. So Franklin is 26 and Johan is 22. So they're like early 20s to mid 20s ish. So they say the police reveal the pair who were in the US illegally from Venezuela allegedly lured Jocelyn, under the bridge. Let me see if I can find if they went to court today. Jocelyn. No, why on earth? The first result in the last hour is this. Death of Jocelyn fuels Trump-Biden debate. And that's from NBC News. No, I don't care about that. Let's see, 11 hours ago. Nope. Oh, that's nice. Here, I'll show you this. I like this part of it. It says they had a vigil for her. It says vigil honors 12-year-old Jocelyn who was murdered and found in a creek in North Houston. I like that. Here, let's watch about the vigil
of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray, and it's ending with the suspects refusing to appear in court tonight. But the hearing went on without them. The magistrate, under intense public pressure, including from the mayor, to deny bond. Tonight, she chose not to make a decision. The DA's office told us they are not fighting to keep the two Venezuelan nationals locked up with no bond on their capital murder charges. We'll get to the reason why in just a moment. All of this as people gathered tonight to remember Jocelyn, including her family and friends from school. It seems so unnatural to see children experiencing the pain of loss like this. Tonight, we're taking an in-depth look at the case and what's next. ABC 13's Jessica Willey starts us off from Kirkendall in North Houston.
Yeah, just a few weeks into their summer break, and these girls are having to face something so terrible. One mom says they've lost some of their innocence, They were among the hundreds who gathered at this vigil here tonight.
We all took this horrific crime personally.
On this Friday night, in a community filled with grief, people gathered from all over.
We are here to support the family. Pay our respects to Jocelyn.
There were those with important titles and some who were just her friends.
Jocelyn she was such a great friend, and she always made everybody feel included.
This group of girls came from Conroe.
She would have wanted us here.
All classmates until this past March at Gordon Reed Elementary.
She was always positive and always had a smile on her face, and her smile was so contagious.
They shared videos and pictures that fill up many preteen phones. This reality, Jocelyn's murder, is hard to navigate.
To just be here for her because, honestly, before she moved,
They are all just 12 years old.
It's multiple emotions. It's anger, it's sadness, it's everything. And it's heartbreaking that people that young have to go through such a terrible thing. And it's just hard to understand, and it's hard to believe that such a sweet little girl is, So it's just hard to believe, and it's really upsetting.
How is that little girl, the one that was just on the screen, so mature? I can't believe the words coming out of her mouth. That little girl acts way beyond her years on this earth. If she is 12 years old, like Jocelyn was, extremely intelligent little girl and very clever in discussing her emotions. The other one seemed to not be able to come to grips with what she'd learned about her school friend. But I was like, wow, she sounds like a 30-year-old talking about loss of friends and death and that. I was like, wow, she's really, really gets it. She's very clever. Laura says, once again, so senseless. I mean, there's no need for it. I don't know. I'm so sick of seeing young women, little girls, victimized. There was another one a few months ago that I covered. The girl had gone for a walk. She was, I think, 16 or 17. She'd gone for a walk. She just graduated from high school. She'd just gone for a walk with her neighbor, and then the neighbor propositioned her. She said no, and then he ended up doing what he wanted to do anyway, and then strangled her and threw her under a bridge as well. And she was also in Houston. That was a few months ago. Yeah, it's you have to be me. I have to read 50 of these a week. So, but I get it. You guys listen to it. You guys listen to what we have to present. So, Kim says, "Out of the mouth of babes." Yeah, exactly. But I get it. There's people, actually, it's probably a good time to talk about it. I get contacted quite frequently from people who apologize for not being here, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ping. I'm taking a break from true crime at the moment. It's got to be, it's getting to my head. I got to just back away from it. I'm starting to obsess over little bits and pieces, and it's making me either anxious or depressed or something." So you're not the only ones out there. There are other people who need to have time away from this topic. I think there's some people who can do it every day. There's some people who just can't. It gives them such a slanted world view of the world that they feel like everything's terrible. So if that's you, I feel it's okay. Take a break. We'll always be here when you come back, and make sure you take care of your own mental health. Listening to these they're the worst of the worst in the world. It really is. I don't think any of us could think of much worse in the world than a 12-year-old getting lured out of her home, taken on a journey around town, and then taken under a bridge for 2 hours. So it's the stuff out of nursery rhymes. It really is. We all hear about the troll under the bridge and what it'll do if it gets you. Well, it sounds like she actually got caught by it. Catatonic, you take break. That's good. Kim says, I find a need to take a break every now and then too. Yeah, I often get emails from people saying, I'm sorry I'm not there for this week or whatever, but I get it. It's okay. You got to make sure that you're able to process this information that you're hearing. It's horrible. It's the worst of people in the world. It really is. Okay, let's go to something else. But I like that video because it showed the community after such a tragic crime. Here, where's that photo of everyone? Can we see it? Let's see if I can find it again because they had so many people turn out. Can't seem to find the screenshot that I want, but yeah, well, there's some people. I like this that on a Friday night, so many people came out from the local community, people that knew her, people from the school district, people from the police department. They all came out to at least show that this is not okay and that they don't want this in their community, and to celebrate the life of Jocelyn. I like that. I like that people did that. Took time out of their day, whatever they were doing. Kathy says, as a child, I was always afraid of monsters under the bed, but that's not where they are. No, they're in the streets and neighborhoods around you. You just have to be careful. Retired RN says, so Ping, how do you keep yourself from getting it to you? You know, I try and I try to say like, this is this part of the day that I have, and I spend it with you guys between 9 and whatever we go to, like 10:30, and then at midnight to 1-ish, we have the late show. After that, I completely switch off from true crime for the rest of the day. I don't follow anything else until the next morning. I don't keep, unless it's something that's like super breaking news, I'll kind of check in on it a little bit overnight, but I switch off and I go and do something completely different. I'll check into a different part of my life, a different topic that I'm interested in. So I do stuff with weather, with tech, with vaping. I got some advocacy stuff I do outside of this because of the government stuff going on. So I try and focus on that to allow my brain to reset, and then we go again the next day and, you know, compartmentalize it. Snapcrackle says, I keep up with the news in my own way. Yeah, it's the only way you can do it. I really feel like if you had to read these stories every single day, you would probably drive yourself crazy if you didn't. I think it would give you a very, like I said, slanted worldview, and you would probably think the dangers are literally outside your door, which, while they are, you have to take a look at the statistics. And while there is danger in our communities, it's not as hard as these stories are. It's not as huge as, I guess the media would like to make it be. Just Summer says, I'm going through a breakup. So it's like worse things are happening, but worse things are happening. Yes, I get you. I am sorry for your breakup. Hopefully you can find someone else who will appreciate you. Hey, Gambler, how are you, bud? Hope you're doing all right. Oh, Miss Utah's here. How are you? Good to have you, my friend. How's the UK? I read the other day the UK it was the largest windstorm or lightning storm in 25 years. It completely blasted part of the southern UK, and it was like the worst storm they'd had it even produced tornadoes. They had tornadoes, 3 tornadoes in one day. Pretty cool for the UK. Hey, Annika, how are you? Yeah, Summer, we're sorry to hear about your breakup. Hey, Richard. What's up, mate? UK is great at the moment. Are you sure that is just not every day? Are you sure that's just not how the UK normally is? Because I've heard rumors that the UK is quite grey. Actually, we had family that just came back from the UK like about 5 days ago. All right, shall we get on to a different story? Now, I would love to bring you some more Gregory Lynn, but I don't have anything, and it's a weekend. The jury has gone home. They are doing whatever they do, and that's it. They'll be back on Monday. They'll be back on Monday for more deliberations. Pretty long deliberation. Already 1 week in, and no answer at this point in time. Apparently, some of the information that I got told last night from a court reporter is, how much can I say? I can say a little bit. This week, they had problems trying to get to a unit. I mean, I think it's obvious because they didn't give us a verdict, right? So I can tell you this. They had issues finding unanimous between either guilty or not guilty and on which charges. So they are still quite far apart from what I understand, speaking to people in the media here. They are not close as of yet. And that led to them requesting that video that they wanted. They want to have a look at people's points and see why they think like that, what this means to them. So that's what they're looking at in that testimony from the ballistic evidence and Gregory Lynn himself. All right, let's get to a different story. Sorry, my keyboard's in a weird location and it's not working. All right, we can do that one. All right. So do you guys remember, I'm going to forget how to pronounce her name now, but is it Sadie Robinson? We covered her a couple of months ago. Her killer is Maxwell Anderson. And I'm going to bring you... So apparently I have a little bit of an update for her. They said the arm that was located on the beach. So a little while ago, they found an arm that had washed up on a beach. It has been identified as being hers. So that is good news. They're starting to find more of her. This freak here, this sick guy, chopped her up in his home, allegedly, and dumped her all around the town for her to just, wash up on different beaches, be found in different parks, different waterways. He's a real sick individual. Says more remains. Yeah. More remains of a Mississippi woman who was brutally murdered in Milwaukee have been found. Police said, I hope it's Sadie, and I hope it is. Sadie Robinson's arm was found last month on an Illinois beach about 50 miles from where she was killed. 50 miles. It's ages away. Robinson's family was notified of the confirmation on Tuesday, according to NBC News reports. So far, other remains, including a torso, an arm, a severed right leg, and a foot, were found in several locations in April. Police say Robinson, 19, was killed and dismembered after going out on a first date with Maxwell Anderson, 33. Her death was first investigated after a severed human leg was found in southern Milwaukee on April 2nd. DNA testing confirmed it belonged to her. Within a week, additional body parts were found in various parts of Milwaukee, according to the sheriff's office. Robinson was first reported missing the morning after her date with Anderson when she did not show up for work. We actually went through his arrest affidavit and the circumstances they were able to tie to him and her. And it is very freaky. They go out on this date. There's text messages between the two. Hey, should we do this? Should we do that? All right, well, meet me here and we'll go to this bar. And then they say, oh, I feel like we go to this particular establishment. They have seafood. Sure, that sounds like a nice date. And then they head back to his place. And there's a little bit of activity on his phone and her phone. And then after about an hour or so, everything just stops. And then at 1 a.m., it's like a few hours later, before 1 a.m., his phone starts picking up again, and there's all this activity. And then it starts moving around Milwaukee, and so does her phone. And you can tell there was a moment where everything was okay once she got back to his property, and then something went wrong. Something changed, and she ended up being killed and murdered. So the fact that he dismembered her, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I can't remember all of it because I don't have the paper in front of me. But I know at one point he went back to her. He tried to go back to her apartment, and I think he was going to either dump her car there or dump her at the apartment. But he changed his mind about that at some point. Oh, that's right. It's pronounced differently. That's right. See, you guys got to remember me. You guys got to remind me. I can never remember. Yeah, it's Sade, right? Thank you. We did this last time. Yeah, it's been a while since I covered this story. Deborah says, how horrific that it's for family. It's not just that. Early on in the investigation, her family were looking for her. They found her vehicle. Then they found her blanket. She had a blanket that had her face on it. It was sort of like one of those things you get when you're young, I guess, or something like that, like a security blanket or something that might go into a, what do you call those? Like a hope chest type thing. And they found that. So I can't imagine being her family and finding her vehicle, finding that blanket just randomly, on the ground and trying to reassure yourself that everything will be okay. I don't think you could. I think you would be freaking out at that point in time. They really. Hey, Deborah. Yeah, it had a picture on it. Yeah. A dowry box? That's a good name for it. Yeah, I'm going to show you this actually. Let me bring this up. Actually, let me play this video and then I'm going to find the older one about her blanket. Hold on.
More remains of a Vicksburg native who was brutally murdered in Milwaukee have been found. Police say 19-year-old Sharday Robinson's arm has been found on an Illinois beach about 50 miles from Milwaukee, where she was killed. So far, other remains, including a torso, another arm, a severed right leg, and foot, were found in several locations in April. Robinson was killed and dismembered after going on a date with 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson. Anderson has been charged with her murder and has pleaded not guilty.
All right. I don't remember any drug issues. I'll have a look though. Hey JS, good to see you. I always see you in the comments after the show. Thank you for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. Finally catching a live again. I thoroughly enjoy your content. Thanks. It's good to see you in the comments every day. Here's that blanket. I'm going to show you a photo. So yeah, so I can't make out heaps of it, but that looks like a photo of her. I can't tell what this other stuff is. Maybe just other photos. That looks like a photo of her in the bottom left too. I can't make out what this one is in the bottom right or the top left. But it says Coco Chanel. Rest in peace, my baby. Is that a dog? Maybe an animal? I can't tell. It's very degraded or very old. Can't really tell, but there's that blanket. Let's see if there's another bit of no. I was hoping there might have been a better photo of it, but I think that's all we have. Yeah, something about here, Coco Chanel, and then rest in peace, my baby. It's definitely had something on it. Look, you can see all these white sort of staining here. All here, all there, something all the way going up here, up into this area here. I don't know if there was remains wrapped in this, but I can't remember. But let's have a look up here. There's Maxwell. Yeah, I don't know. No, it doesn't say, but yeah, there's that blanket for her. Glad they found some of her. Hopefully they find whatever's left. So what did they say? They had a torso. They found a torso, an arm, a severed right leg. Torso, an arm, a severed right leg, a foot. And they said her arm was located last month. So they're still missing an arm, another leg, and another foot. I don't know if they're missing her head. It doesn't say. It just says a torso. Yeah, I don't know, but it looks like they are still missing parts of her. It would be nice to be able to get all of her back. It really would. So her family can give her a proper send off and reunite most of her remains. Human arm found. Let me just check something about her. I just want to know if that torso included her, her skull. No, I don't. I can't find anything that tells us whether that was a complete. Here. Okay. All right. So a family member said, and I'll quote this, says, they cannot help but wonder at what ends of the earth her daughter's head and the remainder of her body may be if her arm traveled 50 miles away. So they still haven't located her head or anyone else. So, I mean, her head and the other parts of her. That is disturbing that they cannot find her and really horrible. I would just burn down my house. I would just run away, and I'd just be like, "What home? I didn't live there. I don't know what you're talking about. I never lived there. A dead leg? I don't know what you're talking about." But yeah, so they did not find her. They're still looking for her skull. The guy did not work with her. He worked at a he was, I think, unemployed at the time. He worked at the restaurant that they went to the date on, and that he'd recently been fired, and he had to go in there anyway to pick up I don't know, some sort of form you get when you get released from a position, and that's why he had been at that location. And then when he met up with her, he just decided, "Hey, we should just go to dinner here since we're already here. I worked here. I know the food is good." Um, yeah, but I don't believe he worked there anymore. Yeah, I don't think they knew each other. I'm not sure how they knew each other. Great, Ping. You have so much interesting information about this case. Guys, we read like 50 cases a week, and my memory only has room for so many Blink 182 lyrics and only so many true crime information. Eventually, I start reading them, they just get pushed out the other side, and I forget. So let's have a look. Actually, if I can find that document that I had, it has the background to them. Yeah, this one might help as long as it doesn't. All right. So it says a first date for her and Maxwell. It says Robinson sends a text message to a phone number later determined to belong to Anderson. The two arranged to meet at Twisted Fisherman restaurant for dinner. Anderson mentions he also needs to pick up a W-2 form since he used to work there. So yeah, he used to work at that restaurant. Robinson meets Anderson at the restaurant and the two have food and drinks at the bar. Anderson arrived first and told the bartender he was there for a first date. Staff later repeat this to investigators and confirm that Anderson used to work there. At 6:30 p.m., the two leave the restaurant and arrive in Robinson's car at Duke's on Water. While there, Robinson sends a Snapchat to a friend. The two leave the bar at 9:06 p.m. Robinson's phone is located in the area of Anderson's home on the 3100 block of South 39th Street. Surveillance video shows two human figures arriving at the house in the night. And then it says, April 2nd, human remains are found and she is reported missing. It says Robinson's phone leaves Anderson's home. It travels through Milwaukee's downtown and the area of Robinson's apartment before continuing north. The phone travels to Pleasant Valley Park along the Milwaukee River in the city's River West neighborhood. The phone leaves that area and heads to another park in Cudahy, arriving at 2:45 a.m. Surveillance cameras from the high school show a cart heading towards the pump house at about 2:53 a.m. At 3:02 a.m., surveillance cameras captured a human figure descending the bluff to the beach level. At 4:31 a.m., the vehicle leaves that area. Minutes later, Robinson's phone loses battery, so it finally goes flat. And they think at that point in time, while he was down on the water, he was discarding parts of her into the water. 7:29 a.m. surveillance cameras capture a white male walking away from a car fire burning in a parking lot on the 1800 block of North 29th Street. A witness later tells law enforcement he saw the male exit the vehicle and toss a lighter into it before walking away. The male was wearing a gray hoodie and a tan backpack. At 7:32 a.m., the Milwaukee Fire Department responds to the fire. The vehicle is a 2020 Honda Civic and belongs to Robinson. The clothing she was last seen wearing April 1 is found in the trunk, along with remnants of a cell phone. 8:35 a.m., video footage from a Milwaukee County Transit System bus shows Anderson in a gray hoodie with a tan backpack getting off a bus near his home. Surveillance footage shows him arriving at the house at 8:43 a.m. Sometime that morning, city workers report that it appears someone used a car to ram open a gate to a service road leading to the pump house. Police later recover a broken piece of the vehicle that belonged to a Honda Civic. And then later that day at 5 p.m., someone finds a human leg appearing to belong to a black female at the park where the car was. The leg was found about 2/3 of the way down a 100-foot bluff towards the shoreline and near the pump house. More than a week later, preliminary test results would suggest the leg belongs to Robinson. And then at 9 p.m. that night, a friend of Robinson's reports her missing to Milwaukee police after she fails to return phone calls. All show up to work. So there's that timeline of that first 24 hours between when they went on that date and when they started finding her car, her clothing, her leg, and they still are looking for more parts of her. I believe that's her dad there. That's her parents here. Let me just, yes, that's that's Sheena, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And I think that's her dad. Yeah, that's it. There you go. And there's him in court with his lawyers. And there's them. There's a photo of him on that bus, and I want to show it to you. He looks very calm on that bus, actually. Let's go to this CBS news station. Here we go.
Gruesome murder mystery that's gripped the Milwaukee area for more than a week now. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jessa Bryce-Beck.
And I'm Amanda Porterfield. This morning, Maxwell Anderson was charged with murdering and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson. The charges link two stories we've been covering for more than a week: the missing woman, Robinson, and body parts discovered in several locations throughout the city and county. Prosecutors now say at least two of those body parts are Sade Robinson's, and officers are looking for more of them.
We have team coverage for you tonight of this breaking news. CBS 58's Taj Mahal and Bryant McRae will have details on the investigation, But we start with Adam Reif live from Anderson's South Side home, breaking down the new information tonight. Adam.
And this home is where prosecutors say Maxwell Anderson killed Sade Robinson after the two went on a date last Monday. A few blocks away is where Anderson was taken into custody a few days later. In moments, you will see new video of that arrest in progress. Now, this case is bringing into light the story that has simmered in the shadows for days. While a concerned family was looking for a missing woman, body parts were turning up all across the city of Milwaukee. And now we have more information on why.
Sick son of a hurt my baby.
Sheena Scarborough did not hold back.
Sick son of a baby.
Her hatred for Maxwell Anderson was evident from the moment her daughter's alleged killer walked into the courtroom. Prosecutors say Anderson and Sade Robinson went out to two restaurants and bars the night of April 1st, then returned to Anderson's home on South 39th Street. They say at some point that night, Anderson killed Robinson, dismembered her body, then drove her car around while he scattered the body parts in various places.
The allegations in the complaint are abhorrent. It is the highest level of violence imaginable.
Anderson also ditched Sade's car and lit it on fire. He spoke just once during Friday's hearing.
Do you understand the maximum potential penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anderson's attorney first tried to get the homicide charge thrown out.
And there's nothing in here that says that she died at Mr. Anderson's home.
Sade's mother again lashed out.
So I'd ask you to dismiss that count before we address.
Anderson's attorney then alluded to Anderson being innocent.
Oh, I love the mother. Did you hear what she said? She's like, shut the F up. That lawyer, I get he's just doing his job, but it comes across as very insensitive to be like, oh, there's no proof that my client killed anyone in his home. You should throw that murder charge out. I mean, he's just doing his job, but far out. I could see why the mum was like, shut the F up. I mean, she's just like, I ain't got time for your BS. Just charge this guy and let's get it over and done with. He would have to put up the most magical defense in history to get out of this. There is so much proof, and even just in the small affidavit they released already, even if you ran the case on the circumstantial evidence found in the arrest affidavit, it's a strong case, a real strong case. One of the worrying parts for me, when they searched his home, when forensics went through his basement and his other parts of his property, they found blood stains, but they weren't hers. So, and I don't think they were his either. Whose are they? And did he hurt any other women previously? Maybe he didn't kill them, but did he hurt any other women at a previous time? Because that is concerning. He looks like a band member from a rock band. I got that feeling from him too, but I can't remember who it is. But I know what you mean. To lose your child in horrific circumstances on going on a first date, and then finding her car on fire and finding her property strewn about, that's another. But then finding pieces of your daughter while you can't find the rest of her, I think that is haunting, and I think that will hurt her family for a long time. I mean, what do you do? Do you have a burial? Do you have a funeral? Do you have a ceremony? Do you wait to see if you can find the rest of her? I mean, what do you do in that situation? It really is everyone's worst nightmare for a loved one. Right. Yeah, he has a past record too. We read into it. He has a past record with previous girlfriends for DV as well. Big age gap. How old was he? Was it that much of an age gap? 33 to 19. I mean, I'm not that weird on it. I mean, there's a lot of 19, 20-year-old girls who want to date 30-year-old guys. It happens quite a lot. I'm not that weird on it. Angela says I would have some sort of service. You know, that's a good point. Maybe like a maybe not a funeral as such where you bury the remains. Oh, you've got some already. I don't know. Maybe like a celebration of life. Yep, it's really common, Sean. I'm not joking. It is super, super common, especially in this day and age, for younger women around 19 and 20 to want to date late 20s, early 30 guys. It's really, really super common because they don't want to deal with the idiot men who are like 21, 22, still trying to mature and figure themselves out. They want the guy that's already been through that and is steady and whatever. I just hope they can find I just hope they can find a way to honor her memory, scatter her remains if that's what she wants, or that's what they will do, or bury her wherever family is buried, and have somewhere they can go and remember her. That's it. So I hope so. Angela says, but if she was a few years younger, we'd all think he was a perv. Well, that's the weird thing with legal age. You can have sex with this girl on her 18th birthday or the day after her 18th birthday, completely legal. 2 days before that, you're going to jail for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years. So that's the weird thing about laws. Laura T says, yeah, see, Laura gets it. I know you wouldn't have, but there are a lot of girls out there who will. Dating older guys is a real it's a phenomenon that really does happen, and I see it a lot. I've seen I've seen a lot of young girls chasing older men. It's a typical thing. Where can I relate it to you for? School teachers. You know how there's a lot of school teachers that prey on school students, and the girls are into it because they really think their teacher's cute or whatever. It's the same type of dynamic. They think he's the older man, he has a job, he's really cute, he's not like the immature boys in their class. It's the same mentality. Although that one is a 100% a crime. That's a crime. It's an abuse of power. You're a teacher. It's should never be done. Sean says, I'm showing him my gun license before he takes my daughter out. Sean, when I think of that, I think of, Bad Boys. Bad Boys, the movie. And they're like, who's this guy? He's like, it's Reggie. Who's Reggie? He's here to take the daughter out. And he's like, He's like, this is Uncle Will. Uncle Will just got out of the crib for like a 19-year stretch. And then he's like, got the gun. And he's like, yeah, you better bring her back. Otherwise, it's going to be chitty chitty bang bang. I love that scene. That scene is one of my favorite movie scenes ever. It is so good. They're doing a new one actually. It's out at the cinemas now, I think. Bad Boys 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. Yeah, it's called Bad Boys Ride or Die. I don't know how good it is. Apparently, it's got pretty good reviews, actually. But the original Bad Boys, the one from the 90s, and the second one's pretty good too. They are just classics. I love them. They are so funny. Kathy says, what can I say? I'm married at 20 and my husband is 2 years younger. Oh, you cradle snatcher, you. Robbing the cradle, hey? 2 years. Oh, they might have thrown you in jail. They might have thrown you in jail. Yeah, sorry, we got a bit off topic there with the whole Bad Boys thing. I do love that movie. That one and White Man Can't Jump. That is a really good movie from back in the day. Let's see. What else do we have? Actually, there is a new book coming out. I was researching it last night. Actually, right now, I'm reading a book. It's the Highway one. I'm reading, if you guys like books, I'm reading a book about the Highway FBI program. I think I showed you the preview for it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been reading it this week, and it is very interesting. It's about the FBI program, which is trying to track truckers who kill women. And I have been reading it. If I can find it, I'll tell you what it's called. It's called Long Haul: Hunting the Highway Serial Killers, and it is a really good book. The one that's coming out is about the college murders, the 4 people who were killed. I'm sure Trish probably told you about it. There's a book coming out in 3 days. It's coming out on the 25th, and it is, where is it? Come on, Ping, you gotta be faster than this with the links. It's called something like Something in the Middle of the Night, or yeah, I'll find it. It's called When the Night Comes Falling by Howard Blum. A Requiem for the Idaho Student Murders. It's here. Here's comes out on the 25th, June 25th, in 3 days. No idea if it'll be any good. Yeah, it's called Long Haul. The one I'm reading is called Long Haul. Yeah, I can show you the one that I'm reading here. This is the one I'm reading right now. It is really good. Has some really good interviews with either FBI analysts who work in this program for the FBI, or it details a lot of cases that explain different circumstances of the way these killers work, and they kind of reference different either murders or abductions, that type of thing. It explains why these girls do it, how they get into it. Very, very, very good book. Got a really crappy review though, 3.74 out of 5. It's not too bad. It means it's an average book. I thought it was really good. What? This person says, I received this book as a Goodreads giveaway. I expected this book to be a more traditional true crime book. In the first few chapters, the author discusses the sheer number of truck drivers who became murderers. It's not a story. It's an investigative book. It's trying to break new ground and explain the research behind truck drivers and why there's such a huge proponent of them that do end up killing women. All these sex workers who use truck stops to travel. And hey, that's the type. It's not a make believe story, or it's not a it's not a one story from the end to the end. It's not like it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and an end. It's sort of an investigative, long form journalism type book. I don't know. Is it on audio? I don't know. Maybe on Amazon. Let me have a look if I can find it for you. It says on Amazon there is an audio book for it. So if you have Audible, you can get it for free, I think, $0 if you do the try thing or whatever. Or if you pay the $16 a month already, you can grab it. But yeah. Deborah says, I heard it's really good. I'm buying that one soon. It is very good. I am very hard to please with books, and the only two I've read recently that I really liked was this one, and there was another one I read a few months ago that was pretty good. But yeah, there you go, if you like books and true crime. But this one comes out on Monday. I don't know too much about it. I don't know too much about the guy who wrote it, Howard Blum. I don't even know who that is. Although I saw a video with him last night. If you're interested in the Idaho student murders, maybe pick this one up on Monday. Yeah, I read all the time when I'm not here. So people ask me before, how do I decompress from reading true crime? Sometimes I go and read true crime, and I know that sounds really backwards, but reading a paper book is actually pretty relaxing, and you can kind of just sit there and flip through the pages and read. So ask Trisha, not very good things said. Did she get a preview for it? I don't know. I just saw it in the paper this morning, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm always looking for new books to read. But yeah, like I said, I got no idea who the guy is. Who is it? Howard Blum. Let's have a look. Who is he? Okay. It's on pre-order from Barnes & Noble at $30 USD. Really? For a new book? $30? No way. I wouldn't pay that. Sorry, Mr. Howard. I would not pay that. Sounds like he was formerly a reporter for the Village Voice and the New York Times. He's a contributing editor at Vanity Fair, and he's done a few New York Times bestsellers. He's an Edgar Award winner, American Lightning. I can't say I know him, but he's won 2 Pulitzer Prizes. Oh no, he's earned 2 Pulitzer Prize nominations in the 80s. And he's worked for Vanity Fairs. He's worked on Miramax films as well. Interesting that he does mostly not crime books, war books like World War II, espionage, FBI, that type of thing. He's done, mostly World War II. Interesting that he would go from World War II to the Idaho college murders. That's interesting. That's a big jump. Yeah, didn't they I thought I saw something in here that sounded odd. They said something like, only one person was a target or something? Here. Blum told ABC News that officials believe Koberger was after, is it Morgan? Because he passed the rooms of 2 surviving roommates before starting the killing spree that shocked the nation. If he was just on a killing spree, it would have been natural, instinctive to go to one of the doors down below. Instead, he goes up this narrow staircase and he turns directly into Maddie's room, and I think Maddie was his target. The only person who knows is him. Blum also writes that the Koberger family members being concerned about his behavior leading up to his arrest. I mean, I'd be concerned if a family member was a murderer too. Yeah, I can't really. There's a photo of him, I'm guessing. Yeah, I can't say anything, but I just saw it in the paper this morning. Suspect number 1. I don't know that one. What's this one? Let me see. Oh, is it a UK one? So I'm only getting a TV show on Channel 5 for that. Suspect number 1. No, I don't want to read that. If this is the one you want me to read, I'm not interested. Is it are you talking about the Lindbergh kidnapping book? No, I have no interest. I don't want to read about Lindbergh. We need a list. We need to have Ping's book club. Yeah, no. I love you, Penguin, but I have no interest. Sorry, my friend. I mean, I might give it a read at some point, but I don't know. I have problems with some crimes that are like way, way old because I struggle to find sort of motivation to read them, and I struggle with that sometimes. Diane says, I believe Blum says he talked to Kaylee's dad, but Steve said not so. Hey, these guys will often use artistic license to move books. Is that fair to the victims? Probably not. All right, look, we're giving him free publicizing right now. Let's not do that. Let's not do that until people have had time to pass through it and pull apart his claims a bit more. Let's not give him any free advertising. All right. All right, let's go back to true crime. No more books. Although we should have a book podcast at some point. I should do like a one night a week that we can talk about books. Because I read all the time. Over here, you guys can't see, but there's a tub here. It has like a stack of books in here that I read. That's why the other day when we were talking about the Long Island case, I was able to just go like this and grab the book because it's right here and it's got my marker in here that I was reading. It's Mindhunter. I was trying to pass through it and match it up with the document. I was trying to find out why he found it so interesting. But yeah, maybe another night. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting one. Out of Florida.
Friday, and we're here with the legendary Trish Rout
Oh my God.
with Southwest Florida's Crime Stoppers.
Trish is showing us some of the fugitives that we need you to look out for this weekend.
Yeah, some bad people that need to go. And we're starting off our list this week with a guy who has evaded law enforcement for nearly 2 years. Junior Dominguez Martinez is wanted for violating his probation following an arrest and conviction for a violent attack on a female. His current warrant stems from an incident where he got into a verbal argument with the female, which quickly escalated into violence. After smashing plates on the floor in a fit of anger, Dominguez Martinez began to choke the woman, eventually causing her to pass out from a lack of oxygen. When she came to, the victim ran into the garage, locked herself in a car, and called 911 for help, fearing that Dominguez Martinez was going to kill her. When deputies arrived, Dominguez Martinez laughed the whole incident off as if it was no big deal. His actions landed him behind bars at the Lee County Jail for 7 months and later time in state prison and now on probation, which he has violated. In addition to this complete lapse of judgment, 54-year-old Dominguez Martinez has been sent to prison 2 other times for battery and burglary charges out of Miami. He's 5'9", 180 pounds, and upon his arrest, he will be held without bond. Next up is a grown man who took advantage of a very young teenage girl and then left the state after she became pregnant. Benjamin Garcia found himself behind bars for lewd and lascivious battery after 2 incidents with the girl in a Lee County home. As a result of his illegal actions, the teen became pregnant and hid her secret under baggy clothing until the baby was born. It wasn't until then that she came clean about her involvement with Garcia, who had already bailed and left for Alabama. Detectives ended up tracing him down, and when DNA tests proved that he had fathered the infant, they placed him under arrest. He was released shortly thereafter, pending his next court hearing. Garcia, however, has made the choice to not own up to his actions and has become a fugitive from the law. This 23-year-old felon is 5'5", 120 pounds, and could be using the aliases of Juan Garcia or Benjamin Humberto.
All right, let me give you some more background to this. This is a very creepy case. It says the guy you see on the screen is 23 years old. He is accused of sexually assaulting a teen girl. Then he fled the state when he learned she was pregnant. Local deputies say Benjamin Garcia has been arrested for lewd battery following 2 incidents with the girl. Garcia impregnated the girl whose age wasn't given. She hid her pregnancy under baggy clothing, deputies said. After the birth, she told law enforcement that Garcia's actions went beyond lewd battery. But Garcia had by that time bailed out of jail and fled to Alabama. Deputies said they have DNA evidence proving Garcia is the baby's father. Garcia is described as 5 feet 5 inches tall, about 120 pounds, and could be using the aliases of Juan Garcia or Benjamin Humberto. The report did not provide any dates of when these incidents occurred. What a bad person. Let me see if I can find anything else about Benjamin Garcia. Here, that's not what I want. All right, that looks like about the only... Okay, that looks like about the only source for it is here. They said law enforcement is searching for a man who took advantage of a teenage girl and then left the state after she became pregnant. Yeah, he'd been arrested already for lewd battery after 2 incidents with the same girl in a Lee County home. How old was the girl that she knew to hide her baby under baggy clothes? That's interesting. Deputies say Garcia's actions resulted in the teen becoming pregnant. The teen reportedly hid her stomach under baggy clothing until the baby was born. That's how we end up with situations like, you remember we found the baby on the placenta on the river? Stuff like this. Because, yeah, it speaks for itself. After the birth, the girl told law enforcement about her involvement with Garcia, who had allegedly already been bailed from jail and fled to Alabama. Detectives reportedly gathered DNA tests to prove he was the father and tracked him down before arresting him. He was released from jail and is now reportedly on the run. What a scumbag. Yeah, let's go to this one. So there's Benjamin. Is there any more on him? No. There we go. So, scumbag impregnates teen girl. That's okay. Someone asked, what is my favorite all-time book? It has to be Lost Girls. If you haven't read it and you're even remotely interested in the Rex Heuermann case, it's old now, and I would love to see the author do a part 2. Now that we know it's Rex Heuermann, or allegedly, I would love for that author to do a either revision or a part 2. It is literally one of my favorite books. And the reason it's my favorite book is not because of I love the Long Island serial killer case, and I'm so glad we found someone responsible. But it's more that book, every time I read it, it reminds me that everyone, no matter what they do for a living, no matter who they are, they all come from different backgrounds, and not to judge people based on their line of work, because all these girls were, well, sex workers, but in different ways. When you read the book, it'll show you which the different ways they were into sex work. And then it delves into their backgrounds and how they got to sex work. And to me, yeah, it shows that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And there's 1,001 ways that girls and men fall into sex work, and not to be so hasty in judgment of them. You saw it in a charity shop a few days ago. You should have grabbed it. Yeah. That too. If you haven't read it, read it. Read it and then tell me what you think. And you'll see it delves back into like their childhood years, how they grew up in their homes, what their lives were like before they moved away from their towns and stuff like that. Very, very interesting book. Huh? There's programs and films showing this so girls see what to do to cover up the fact they are pregnant. What? What kind of show does that? Oh, like what's that MTV show? Teen Pregnant or whatever it's called. The one about teen pregnancy and becoming a teen mom. Is that the one you're talking about? All right, let's see what else we got. One more story for the night. Let's get out of here. What's this in Arkansas? What is this? A shooting. Okay. We don't do those. They're pretty rare. That was a joke. Let's go here. Let's go to ABC News 7. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to pause the music. So they're saying here, a shooting at Mad Butcher grocery store leaves 2 dead, 7 injured, and that's the scene outside earlier today. Let me go to NBC News. Page not found. Okay. Huh. Hold on, guys. According to CBS News? Okay. 3 people were killed and 10 wounded in a mass shooting Friday outside a grocery store in Fordyce in Arkansas. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Sorry, my Arkansas friends. 2 law enforcement officers were among those injured, but their conditions are not considered to be life-threatening. We'll watch this in a second. Hold on. Arkansas State Police responded to the Mad Butcher grocery store at 11:38 a.m. Local time on Friday. Upon arrivals, officers engaged in a shooting with a lone suspect. A video clip from the scene appears to show a man in the parking lot, armed with a shotgun, firing at officers who were returning fire. Wow, that like the Wild West out there. The 8 civilians who were wounded have injuries ranging from non-life-threatening to extremely critical, according to the Arkansas Department of Public Safety Director Mike Hager said at the briefing. The situation is secure and is contained. There are no active threats to the community at this time. The shooter, identified by police as 44-year-old Travis Eugene Posey of New Edinburgh, Arkansas, was arrested. Police said he was first treated at a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries he sustained in the shootout with officers. He was then taken into police custody on 3 counts of capital murder. One witness, David Rodriguez, was at the gas station next to the grocery store when the shooting started. He told CBS News he pulled into the gas station and heard some popping. At first he thought it was fireworks. Then he said he heard the sirens and saw the police pull up, and people just started running all over the place. Wow. Let's watch the video.
In America, this time in Arkansas. It happened at lunchtime about an hour south of Little Rock. The gunman firing shot after shot at a grocery store before he was taken down by police officers. The director of the Arkansas State Police spoke just a short time ago, giving new information about the status of the victims, but no word on the suspect's motive yet. CBS's Omar Villafranca has the very latest.
At Mad Butcher in Fordyce, and there's a shooting going on.
Gunshots rang out at this grocery store in Fordyce, Arkansas, about 70 miles south of Little Rock.
Oh my God, baby.
This video appears to show a man armed with a shotgun shooting at officers who were also returning fire.
Trying to shoot the police.
At least 3 people were killed. 10 others were shot, including 2 police officers who are expected to survive. The shooter was wounded by police and is now in custody.
The remaining civilian injuries range from non-life-threatening to extremely critical.
Philip Todd lives nearby.
The cops were all piled up there. They told me to turn around, the active shooter.
Just moments after pulling up to buy gas, witness David Rodriguez heard a barrage of gunfire.
There's somebody lying in the parking lot, shot.
And pulled out his cell phone to record.
We don't normally hear about things like this going on in our local community. So it was quite a scare.
Stunned onlookers scrambled to safety as officers quickly locked down the area.
This situation is secure and it's contained. There are no active threats to the community.
The ATF is assisting in the investigation, but as of right now, we don't know a motive for that shooting. Nancy?
It worries me that you can't even go to a grocery store and get food. You can't go there without wondering if some idiot with a shotgun or a rifle is going to show up and just start shooting stuff. Yeah, I would not stand near a fuel pump. No, although I think if I remember, Mythbusters tried to do that with a gun and a fuel canister or a fuel pump, and they said that it doesn't work. It's not like the movies where if you shoot it, it goes up in flames. You need something like a tracer round that's already has a fire to it to make it go boom. But hey, we all live in the movies, right? What a disturbing thing out of Arkansas. Right before 4th of July, too. We're only about, 2 weeks from 4th of July? 2 weeks from the 4th of July weekend. Well, actually, I don't know how this works for you guys. 4th of July is on a Thursday. Thursday? On a Thursday for you guys. Do you celebrate it as a long weekend? Thursday the 4th, Friday the 5th, Saturday 6th, Sunday the 7th? Or do you guys celebrate it the week before on the 29th and the 30th? Because you guys normally run it as a weekend, right? You guys will have to tell me because I have no idea how it works in the USA. But I know some people wanted to know if I was doing a 4th of July show. Yes, we'll be doing a 4th of July show. Of course we will. My son is going to Boston next month, and it just freaks me out. I think Boston's fairly safe, isn't it? I miss it. You know, if there was one wish I could have in life about TV or movies or stuff like that, I just wish it wouldn't end. I love that show. It holds a real special place in my heart for media or TV shows, and I watch it all the time. I love it. You just celebrate on the 4th. So if it's on a Thursday, it's on a Thursday. If it's not on a weekend, it doesn't matter. Okay, I thought you guys only did it on the weekend. Yeah, he was arrested. They said in the video he was arrested and taken into custody, taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries, and then arrested over two counts of capital murder. So let me just double check that. Yeah. He was arrested. Let me just go down here. Here. Police said he was first treated at a hospital for non-life-threatening injuries he sustained in a shootout with officers. He was then taken into state police custody on 3 counts of capital murder. So yeah, he's currently in custody right now. I can have a look. What's his Travis Eugene Posey. 4 hours ago from Fox 13 Memphis.
Good people, just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And they didn't deserve it, but I've learned something in life, man. Bad things happen to good people, and I really hate it.
We're talking about people going about their just everyday activities. They're at a store picking up groceries. The next thing you know, gunfire.
3 people were killed. At least 10 others were injured in a mass shooting at a grocery store in Fordyce, Arkansas, which is about 65 miles or so south of Little Rock. Among those injured were 2 police officers.
And tonight, we now know the suspect. We know who the shooter was, the suspected shooter. Arkansas State Police say Travis Posey is that suspected shooter, facing several charges, including capital murder. Arkansas State Police say he was taken into custody after he exchanged gunfire with law enforcement officers.
Tonight, witnesses and employees at the store are recounting the horrific events that took place.
We are live here at Mad Butcher in Fordyce, and there's a shooting going on.
David Rodriguez, a witness, says he was pulling into a gas station when he heard pops. He thought it was fireworks, but it was the sound of gunfire. Shortly after, Rodriguez says he saw people running from the scene.
There's somebody lying in the parking lot. shot.
Arkansas State Police say the shooting happened around 11:30 this morning in a small town of Fordyce, about an hour south of Little Rock. An employee at the Mad Butcher grocery store said a man with a shotgun came into the store and ended up in a shootout with police.
Law enforcement responded immediately and exchanged gunfire with a lone suspect. 2 law enforcement officers were injured in the exchange of gunfire. The suspect was also shot and taken into custody.
3 people were killed and at least 10 other people hurt in the shooting. A Fordyce City Council member says he was on the phone with someone in the store when it all started. And he says some people hid in the cooler to escape the gunfire.
This is a very devastating day for us. Never in a million years will we think something like this would happen. There's a lot of families involved that's affected. So let's continue to pray for them.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders did issue a statement following the mass shooting there in Fordyce. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, the governor said, quote, "I have been briefed on the tragic shooting in Fordyce, and I am in constant contact with state police at the scene. I am thankful to law enforcement and first responders for their quick and heroic action to save lives." That statement continues by saying, "My prayers are with the victims and all those impacted by this horrific incident."
Fox 13 is committed to staying on top of the latest developments that come out of today's mass shooting. You can get updates on air and on
There's him in custody right there. Looks like he's beaten up a little bit. He's got some cuts to his face and nose. Always head for the back exit in a store. You have a better chance of getting out alive. Is it normal for you guys to start letting off fireworks so like 2 weeks early? Do people just go, "Oh, it's late June. We better start doing the fireworks, otherwise nobody's gonna know that July 4th is on the way." You know, sort of like the British are coming. Instead of with that, it's like the 4th of July is coming. Set off all the fireworks. Yeah, it's not me. It's the papers. I don't know why they say that. I think everyone knows that is now called X. Motive has not been identified at this point. They do for the 5th of November here. Oh yeah, that's Forks Night, right? In the UK. That's sort of your fireworks night in the UK. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Formerly known as Prince, or formerly known as Twitter or X. Yeah, Guy Fawkes night. Yeah, that's your fireworks night. Sometimes, yes. Yes, fireworks every night in June. I know Trish complains that in Texas, if you're around July 4th or New Year's Eve, there's just fireworks like every night. Every night someone is letting off massive amounts of fireworks. Yeah, just like Jetstar pilot. Oh my god. If I never have to read the words Gregory Lynn, former Jetstar pilot, ever again, I'll be a very happy guy. I never want to read that again. Hey Kim, thank you, my sweet friend. Good night. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. All right, we've done an hour and a half for tonight. Friday and Saturday shows are normally very late because I like to sleep in on those days. So, hey, I love you all. Thank you all for sticking around so late into the night. We had a lot of people hang out very late into the early hours of Saturday morning. So I'm very appreciative. I want to thank Laurie for the very first super chat tonight. Thank you, Laurie. She may be in bed by now. Kathy Lynch sent one too. Thank you very much. I will tell her as soon as we get off the air. And thank you. It's extremely generous of you. JS the Cat says, finally catching a live again. I thoroughly enjoy your content. Thanks, JS. Hey, have a great Saturday where you are in Australia. And I've got a few other people to thank that came in during the show today. Hold on. Lynn D sent one. I don't know when she sent this. It must have been late yesterday. So Lynn D, that is very sweet of you. Very, very generous and kind of you. Lynn D says, "Hey Ping, sending love too." Sending love back to you, my friend Lynn D. That is very sweet of you. And my friend Laura T says, "This is for Mrs. Ping. Thank you very much. I will tell her after the show." She's just over there. She's somewhat feeling better, but she's got her other health issues that she's trying to recover from. And I don't know about this one. I'm just going to call it my secret admirer because that's what she called it last time. Thank you very much. That is very generous of you, my friend. And like I always say, I should be paying you, but that is very sweet of you. Let's see. Good night, everyone. Retired Irene, good night. Deborah, thank you very much. And Kathy Lynch says, "It's illegal here, but very easy to get fireworks." Hey, I hate mornings. How are you? Hope you're feeling a bit better. Yeah, stay safe out there and don't commit any murders. And please, for the love of God, be careful over this holiday fortnight. There are some people out there who take things to the extreme and they just have disregard for everyone else around them, including this guy on the screen, apparently. Just be careful out there. Don't be going out too late at night, I guess. There's some research to suggest that over 4th of July, at least one person every year dies from a bullet going up in the air and then coming back down and randomly killing them. And I hope that doesn't happen to anyone else. We've got to stop people from just shooting straight up in the air. You're not gonna shoot the moon. It will never make it. So be careful out there, okay? Angela says, "Stop spoiling my fun." No, guys, have fun if you want to. There's some absolutely beautiful festivals I see every 4th of July. They have these like carnival type things that you can go to in America. So much fun. So if you're heading there, be careful, but have fun. Hey, we're not accusing people of having bodies buried in the backyard, okay? Hey, I love you all. Have a great night. Have a great Saturday, early Saturday morning, and come back for tomorrow night, which will be Saturday night show. So I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow night, but we'll figure it out. In the meantime, go read one of the books that we talked about. Maybe not the Koberger book. Let's wait till the 25th and see what other people have to say. But the other two I mentioned, go have a read. Very good. Later, everyone. Good night. Peace out.